Welcome to Quinn Broadcasting. I'm Tony Trongone, and this is the Millville Public Schools update. And we're going to have a pretty good show for you tonight. I'm going to do a little update on our student achievement, and then we have some special guests, our assistant superintendents, Dr. Matt Mazzoni and also Stephanie DeRose. But first, I'm going to start off with the student achievement piece, and I want to bring that because the test scores are coming out now, and I want the public to just to give a snapshot overall of the district. And so if we can look at that score, George, if you can see here, these are the composite scores for Millville back in 2019. And you can see this score. We were about 22.3% passing. And what you see here are yellow bars of all the districts like us in New Jersey called former Abbott districts. And you see Millville City there. Vineland is somewhat in the middle, and you can see Bridgeton is on the far right. And then what I want to do is actually look and see from before the pandemic, 2019, to 2022, this past spring, and the whole state dropped a certain amount because of the in-person instruction. But these are the same school districts, and you can see that Millville City dropped to about 13.8% in this past spring. Again, that's all of our test scores for math and language arts. And then what you hear in the news is the topic called learning loss. And this is the learning loss as far as the percent loss. And you see what happened between 2019 and 2022 for language arts and math. And I have a blue arrow there for Millville. And we had lost about 38.2%. Not about, it was 38.2%. You can see I did put Vineland there at 31%. You can see Bridgeton, you might not be able to see it's 47.5%. And so there's going to have discussions about this. And the bottom line is, when you look at these numbers, you can look at a lot of different things. But the bottom line is we have a lot of work to do and make sure that we're going to be good to go. And that's why I'm going to start off the show with Dr. Mazzoni. So welcome, Dr. Mazzoni.
Mr. Trongone, great to be here. I'm excited to be a part of Millville. So I'm just coming up on 4 months here in Millville.
4 months.
Right. And a lot of wonderful things, and not just Jim's and Lynn's for lunch. So a lot of great things happening. So first want to thank all of our principals, supervisors, and teachers. They are dedicated. So the numbers that you've just presented, we have a big task in front of us. Since day one, we've been hitting the road, and the work's been getting done right now.
I think one thing we have to do, Dr. Mazzoni, Matt, can I call you Matt?
Yeah.
All right, Matt. A little bit about yourself. Let our folks in Millville give us a little background about you.
Yeah, I always say born and raised in Vineland, Buena Vista Township. Grew up on a farm. So I bring that farming mentality to everywhere I go. So I put in the hard work, dedicated, and that hopefully you're seeing that. Hopefully the staff and the community seeing that with me. I roll my sleeves up, and I really want to invest it in what we're doing here in Millville.
Yeah, and we see that. And as far as your professional career, where have you been? What did you teach, and then where have you been administrator?
So started in Buena, so born and raised in Buena, worked as a special education teacher in Buena, and then from there became a young principal, and then shifted from there. I stopped being a principal in Buena after I was supervising my mom as a secretary. So I said, I need to learn, I wanted to get out of that environment. So I had to the ability to go over to Mullica Township as a middle school principal, and then became a middle school principal and elementary principal there. I was able to receive my doctorate in education from Rowan University, and shifted over to Folsom School District the past 4 years as the superintendent of schools there.
And so when the opening, Dr. Moore retired, and we had that opening, we were blessed that you applied and to have a sitting superintendent with your knowledge. What was your dissertation in?
So my dissertation was on a principal as instructional leader. So my whole focus is about a shared leadership approach, so making sure that we're using all the stakeholders in our schools, in our communities, to benefit student learning.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Mazzoni, Any other words as far as the intro till we get to the
Yeah, I
nitty-gritty?
think it's important that I need to recognize my family. So that's a huge part. And today is my
That's number
daughter
one.
Alex's birthday. So Alexandra, happy 4th birthday.
God bless her.
Yeah, so after this, I'll be home eating some cake with the family.
Oh, good
so
for you.
wonderful.
So I won't take you too long. So you have some slides for us to show our families at home.
Yeah, let's
And
start
so
off.
we'll start off with our English language arts performance.
Right, I think it's important that first, we're coming in from a needs assessment, so we need to look at where we're at as a district. You did the whole picture from a district, and then I'm drilling down, and we're going to first look at English language arts. And as you can see where we're compared with the state, so we're scoring around 30 percentage points below the state average. And I know previous from me coming on prior, you implemented the American Reading Company, the ARC program, and everybody's probably hearing about this program. So I want to talk a little bit about what that looks like. And this slide shows there's so many different pieces to it, but it's a comprehensive reading, writing, and phonics program. And it's also cross-curricular, so we're embedding social studies and science, making it very high interest for our students, and we're hearing that all over. So when I'm visiting the schools, the teachers, the principals are saying the kids are picking up books and they're reading before school, after school, while waiting for their buses, and of course it's happening in the classroom. Some of the pieces to this I just want to highlight. This is in the hands of the teachers. We have toolkits, and they are targeting the student learning. It's differentiating the instruction for students, so it's not the one-size-fits-all approach. So it is identifying students' reading levels, putting them in just right books, and the students are being exposed to one thing. Are you a history buff, Tony?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So one of the pieces that we even pulled was the history of the Civil War. So the students are reading about the Civil War. So it's the love for reading while also embedding those cross-curricular.
You talked about those books. So which books go home?
Yeah, so let's talk about that. So we have this huge homeschool partnership right now. So the students have tons of different books, and we've ordered so many books, and we're ordering more for next year. So they have libraries, and the students can pick books, and we want to expose them to that. And now they're going home with books, and the expectation is that the parents and students are reading together for 30 minutes at home, and then along with 30 minutes at school. So that's 1 hour of reading.
So when did that start for all of our elementary schools?
Yeah, it started right after back to school night. So congratulations to Miss Cheryl Banks, our supervisor. She's done a great job. She went to every single back to school night and really previewed what we were expecting. Also with the books, right? So again, we all need to be educators. I'm always asking my wife, who's a reading coach. So we have skill cards. So these are cards that go home with the children, and while parents are reading, they can also ask comprehension questions about the books. So really help the parents through that
in
process.
the beginning of the year, that was a big emphasis, like when are the kids taking the books home?
Right.
And I'm wondering, there is an issue in Millville with the consistency of delivery of instruction and resources, and maybe one school does it, one school doesn't. We got to make sure that they all are bringing them home. So
Right.
that's something I would request that we make sure that that's happening, because that was an issue, like when the back to school nights
Right.
and what's going on, so we can have that, make sure that that's happening. Okay.
We go next slide here. So again, this is just one example of a lot of parents are asking about what level is my child reading on, and this is called the IRLA, Independent Reading Level Assessment. And on this, you can see how the students go from a read aloud immersion, so where the teachers are reading with the students, all the way to where in 5th grade, because this is going from K to 5, it's author's point of view, or students are learning about inferencing. So it goes to pretty high level comprehension.
So the bottom left-hand step is read aloud immersion,
right?
and then it goes all the way
all
at
the
the
way
top
up
to
of where students are learning. Now, this could be a breakdown of a K to 12 breakdown. So this program does extend into high school, but right now we are in a K to 5 role with that.
Okay, what's that upper right-hand visual there?
Yeah, so this is how we should be using the IRLA. So teachers are leveling students, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a little bit of progress monitoring. But the entire time, it's not just about we're going to read a book that one size fits all. So everyone's on a book. Some know it, some don't. But now we want to make sure we're checking in with students. Once every 14 days, we should know how students are learning and how they're progressing through all those steps. And we are seeing great growth. And I'm going to show you a slide. I believe the next slide.
So again, level, observe, student, is that what the teacher's doing?
Right. This is the student. So the teacher. So they're observing the student, and then they're finding out what's the next step. And the next slide is going to break that up about what goals are we focusing on. We're teaching it, independent practice, and then we're conferencing with students. How did they do? Can we move on to the next level, or do we need more of a reteach for mastery?
Gotcha. Okay.
Right. And this is an example of what we're using in School Pace. So when I talk about progress monitoring,
what's School Pace?
School Pace is really the database that is holding all this information.
That's the program that has all our data the teachers put it in?
Correct. So, and this has been a big lift, and it's something new, School Pace. So it's something we expect all of our staff, from RTI teachers, our tiered teachers that are giving interventions to our students, all the way to the classroom teachers, special education teachers. They're all inputting data. And with this program, like, this is one example of students that need to be focusing on decoding, okay? And then we know from this data if this is a whole group lesson, if it needs to be taught in small group instruction, or it can be one-on-one conferencing.
Okay.
Now, I'm excited to be reporting this. So our staff has been doing a great job. And you can see from October 7th, where all the way to the right is our students that are proficient or above, reading on grade level. And we started with 16% of our students reading on grade level. And we're progressing very nicely. So just in 2 months, we are now at 22%. So we're seeing a gradual increase in our students reading on grade level.
And how does this information get put in? Through that evaluation from the teacher?
Right, so nonstop through School Pace. Teachers are logged on to that daily, putting in how students are progressing.
And is that something different from last year for our teachers?
Yeah, this is all new, especially the School Pace piece of it. But we are used to Fontes and Pinnell of how we were collecting data. And maybe that was happening 3 times a year. Well, this is being monitored every single day.
You mentioned the goals. You might have this ready in one of your slides, but
right.
What are your goals for that progress monitoring then for our teachers?
Right, so conferencing is a big piece we're focused on right now, and we want to see where our students are being conferenced at least once every 14 days. Our most at-risk students are even being seen more than that. But doesn't mean that they're not being seen by the teacher. We know our teachers are doing a great job, and they're constantly pulling students in groups. But it's so important for a teacher to sit one-on-one with a child and hear them read and ask comprehension questions.
So it's a more intense evaluation,
right.
For a lack of a better term.
Right.
Because I know when we look for extra help, we talk about more direct, intense instruction. This is more direct, intense evaluation, right?
Right. Progress monitoring. So it's us keeping a pulse.
Very good word, progress. Because intense might not be a right word in elementary.
Right.
But progress monitoring is a good way of
right. And it's just about us not saying, I hope we're going to do well at the end of the year. All these indicators will let us know exactly how students are progressing.
Okay, good.
Right. All right, so let's shift over talking about math. Right now, we took last spring NJSLA. We took the grades 3 to 5, and once again we saw that we were 23 percentage points below the state average. And with that, right, we need to identify a needs. Right, that's the need assessment that we're doing. So we have a plan of action in front of us, and very excited. Mr. Bobby Barber has done a great job leading that with all of our wonderful teachers and administrators in that. So the one big difference in years past is the implementation of 10 interim assessments in grades 1 through 5. And now again, this is students giving us at the end of a unit. So right now we are just finishing up our 3rd unit assessment for the school year, and we're seeing how students are mastering those skills.
So if I'm in 5th grade and we're in the 3rd unit, from November 15th to December 7th, we learned fractions, and now we're going to give an assessment. Right. So whatever was taught in that time, they're being assessed on what was taught.
What was taught, right?
Even though it's called interim assessment, it's an interim assessment of what was taught in that period.
Correct.
'Cause I think in education, people give benchmark assessments,
Right.
and it's sometimes it's not what they was taught in that period.
Right.
And I think there's not an emotional connection from the teacher to the student about what they learned. So that's a great way to monitor. Again, this is progress monitoring then, right?
This is progress monitoring to the highest level.
Seeing the common theme.
Right. And you know, me and you have spoken about it numerous times. It's important to have assessments built in that are localized. The argument out there always in the communities is, why all these state testing? This is too much testing. But this is testing that was built by Mr. Barber and our teachers. So it's local, so it means something to us. And this is a way for parents to know if my child is mastering those skills. So that's important. As a parent, I want to know that. And of course, in my role, you know, this is the most important. How are students progressing?
So I got another question for you.
Yeah.
So how do you know that what we're teaching them is appropriate when it comes down to the state test scores?
Right. And I can tell you, sitting in the meetings with Mr. Barber and grade level teachers, they are breaking down every single question that is asked on those assessments, and they are looking, is it a valid test? How can we reword that question? And more importantly, how did we teach it? Did we go deep enough? And again, maybe if we find a pattern where, I know like in grade 2, and I'll show that later, we saw the students scored significantly lower than assessment 1. So maybe how do we reteach that? Are we going to spiral? Meaning, is it going to be taught at a later date? So again, we want to keep progressing, make sure we're following the pacing guide, but we just want to make sure the students have an understanding of those skills, maybe that they didn't master.
Okay.
And we have a lot of things that we're offering too. So we're offering an after-school tutoring program that's going to be hyper-focused on ELA and math. So we don't want to lose this and say, you know, like, again, every student needs to succeed. We have to have that mentality moving forward.
I love it.
Yeah.
Getting back to that excitement that you're bringing.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I get excited with that. And let's go to the next slide. So it does talk about, you can have a snapshot of those assessments here. And like I said, grade 2, you can see how there was a slight decline. But Mr. Barber and teachers, I sat in on the meeting, and they're addressing that. So some of it, because it is localized, it could be the development of the assessment, but also, you know, where are our gaps in the learning?
And this is the Millville district-wide first grade.
District-wide, right.
Okay.
And again, one of the goals for the most part that we want to see is that 30% of our students are scoring 70 or better after a total of all 10 assessments.
What I see here, though, we got to build trust with our teachers.
Right.
That when they're reporting it, that it's real data. And this is about, like I said, progress monitoring, not a gotcha. Because, again, if we're going to get anywhere, we got to make sure the teachers are on board, and this isn't going to be a gotcha for it. And I know you know that, but I want to make sure the public knows that, too. Because when you see, like, grade 4, 16.5%, I think there could have been 16.5% in the past 5 or 6 or 10 or 20 years. But what do we do about it? Now, and I'm sorry I'm interviewing you, but now you can say, what's happening in 4th grade? Why was it 16.5%?
Right.
What can we do, right?
Right.
And that's what we're trying to do.
Right. And we use this Link It locker. So Link It is another platform where we put all of our data in. And just in a normal day, we are pulling up from individual schools and looking at how, all right, so the students scored this on interim 1. How many minutes did they take that test for? Are we seeing maybe that was a concern? We can break it down by every single question and say maybe this standard wasn't, that's where they were deficient, how we're going to reteach it. So that's how we're drilling down to it.
I'm interested in what the conversation is going to be with the teachers, too. The University of Penn calls that collective inquiry, where I think they have to talk about, okay, what happened? And if there's some teachers that are doing even their scores are better, maybe they weren't. That was the average 16.5%. Sometimes we have to talk to each other and go, why did your class do so well?
Yeah, that was a good lead-in right there, Tony. So let's go to the next slide, and I can talk about the professional development piece to that. And we have a lot of it going on. So as much as we're pushing forward, right, this is hard work. We love that. But we also have to provide the supports for our teachers to be better. How can we help you in your craft? I want to get better. We all want to get better. And one of those things that you're talking about is our professional learning community. So our teachers are meeting once a week in professional learning communities for approximately 40 minutes, and they are working, and we have very clear guidance of what they should be doing in their PLCs. And one of them is looking at their math end of unit, interim unit assessments, and having those conversations about each question and breaking it down, and then how we can reteach that, and how we're using different supplemental programs to support them.
But people say we had professional learning communities last year. What's different? The structure?
The structure, and I think the follow through too. So I know our supervisors are sitting in on those meetings. The principals, I spoke about that, the instructional leaders, right? They are the leaders in the building. I haven't said much about principals, but we know the number one factor to student success through all studies is teachers, right? So a teacher is the number one factor to your child learning. Number two is your principal. So they need to play a huge role in that. So how does a principal do that? By providing teachers those support. And hopefully we're doing that. Some of the other things we're doing, had a meeting. We're planning our January 27th PD day. And hopefully that's going to be a real good one as well. So there will be time put aside for the ARC training. Also with math. And we're also looking to bring in a motivational speaker for our staff too. As much as we want to encourage our students, we also want to keep encouraging our staff.
Okay. And I was looking at that too. The ARC coaches and site visits.
Right.
I don't think what's been different, and I think a couple principals mentioned it and a couple teachers. We have the PD wasn't just over the summer or in the spring. It's happening now too.
It's happening right now. So we have PD all this week. So we have, through the ARC program, we have 10 site visits. So there are individual coaches going to individual schools, our 5 elementaries, and coaching teachers in the classroom once a month, some are twice a month. And just tomorrow, we have our leadership training. So as much support as our teachers are getting, same with our supervisors and principals.
Great to hear.
Yeah. And, also excited to bring back our learning walkthroughs. What does that mean? That's getting our administrators in the class, including myself, and observing what's happening. And it's not about an I got you, like you previously stated, but more it's about how can we observe what's happening in the class? How can we find where we're deficient and give those teachers that support? So this is when we say a community effort, this is it. So it's every level getting involved with our end goal of meeting our students.
Well, there's one more piece of the community is the parents. So
right.
What's going on with the parents?
Yeah, and so we're excited to announce that on Thursday, January 19th, we're having a curriculum night that's going to be hosted by Rick Elementary School. And every year we'll go to a different elementary school, but the whole focus, every elementary school is invited to it. We want parents there, and we're going to showcase the wonderful things we're doing with the ARC program. So you get to sit alongside your child and learn about the ARC program and pick up books, those high-interest books. And it's not just going to be with ARC. It's going to be learning more about Eureka Math. It's going to be hopefully participating in a phys ed class, art. We're doing a lot of great things here in Millville.
Parents will rotate through?
They're going to rotate through. And just thank you again to our teachers that are participating in that.
How long will that night be?
It's going to start at 6 o'clock and run to 6 to 8
2
p.m.
hours.
More information will be coming out.
Okay, great. Great. All right. So you've been here for 4 months. We're going to, we're not playing football. We usually go by quarters when I'm doing the coach's corner, but now we're playing soccer. We have halves.
Right.
So you're the first half. You're leading us off. And great. I think the word exciting, you bring that
Right.
excitement, and we're really, we're excited the fact that you bring in not only the excitement but also the knowledge. I think I hope the folks at home realize what they're witnessing here with a true instructional leader, having Matt and also Stephanie helping lead the instructional piece of phases of our school district. We're really blessed. And so after 4 months, give us a little backdrop of what you've learned at Millville so far. It's like an interview, folks, but
Yeah.
I got to ask them, what do you except for the usual platitudes. I
Yeah.
love Millville. It's a
Yeah,
it's a-
no,
it's a-
and I shared that with you from day one, even in my first interview. I went home to my wife and said, like, babe, this is the place I want to be, because it was a team mentality, and I can feel that. And I believe that every step of the way. I talk to principals and supervisors and teachers, and I really believe great things are going to happen, already have been happening, but from an instructional standpoint, we're going to be doing wonderful things where students are hitting those high marks.
I'm going to leave
Yeah.
it at that. I couldn't say it any better
All right.
because, again, I'm simple. I'm saying we got to do a lot of work, and
Yeah.
much more eloquently said than I could ever say it, but we're blessed to have you.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing you again on the show, again with you and Stephanie giving us an update. I know parents are looking at the scores, and they're looking at different facets of our educational system, but they want to see that progress. And I
Yeah.
think it's about time. And I'm going to tell you, folks, not only in Millville, across the board in education, we don't really monitor it like you're monitoring right now.
Right.
Digitally, all the information of how we're assessing. So it's a heavy lift. I want to thank you and your supervisors, the principals, the teachers, the instructional aides that we have, the paraprofessionals. There's a lot that goes into
Yeah.
this.
We can't
and,
thank them enough. Yeah,
yeah.
They're working hard.
All right. So any parting shots? I always say I got any parting shot besides happy birthday to your daughter.
No, I think I said enough, and I appreciate it. I can't wait to come back on this show.
All right, folks. Well, you heard it straight from Dr. Mazzoni, what we're up to at the pre-K to 5 instructional area at Millville Public Schools. We're excited to have him back. I'm excited just, after 25 minutes of what he had to say. So, Matt, keep up the good work.
Thank you,
Keep up the energy level. And like I said, we look forward to great things, but also having you on here to give us another update. So thank you. And at this time, we're going to take a commercial timeout, and we'll be right back with Mrs. Stephanie DeRose, the Assistant Superintendent for our secondary schools. See you in a bit.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community. Local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
Allen Associates is a family-owned and operated full-service agency, managing a broad base of clients in the New Jersey area. Allen Associates has been a leader in health benefits and financial services including health, prescription, life insurance, pension, 401k plans, and estate planning. With more than 60 years of experience and a staff of highly trained and dedicated professionals, Allen Associates is noted for its ability to build strong, long-term relationships with our clients and the communities we serve. Give them a call today at 856-692-2250. Allen Associates, your complete health and financial services, Vineland, New Jersey.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born, right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them, and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Welcome back to our Millville Schools Update. I'm Tony Trongone, Superintendent of our school system, and I'm blessed to have here with us our Assistant Superintendent for Secondary Schools, Stephanie DeRose. She's no stranger to our school system, but I do owe her a formal introduction because it's been your second year now as Assistant Superintendent.
That is correct.
But you want to fill us in on your backstory on how you got to here?
Sure, thank you. And I just want to welcome everybody and say hello. Welcome to the show. My name's Stephanie DeRose. I've been in the district since 2006.
Wow.
So I started as assistant principal at senior high school. I was one of the disciplinarians, and then in 2013 became principal of Memorial High School, and then principal of both Memorial and senior high school in 2016. And then have been working on the construction project of the new high school, the merger of all the grades, and now have been blessed to be in the position that I'm in currently, which is assistant superintendent of secondary schools.
Yeah, I just I know we're on TV, but the conversations that you and I have, coming from the principal position and now looking at the global perspective of all the schools, tell me what that's been like for you as far as the curricular end of it, as well as the building management end of it.
I will say it's been quite an adjustment for the families that I've been with since 2006. I've had many siblings. I've had children of some of my students. So it's been definitely a shift. Mm-hmm. I love my new position. I miss my kids though, and being really in it as much as I was as a head principal. But I have to say I love the new role because I'm working with amazing principals in this district. I have Jamie Sutton, who's now the principal, who has been the principal for a year and a half now for the high school, and most recently Amanda Gaunt, who I had the privilege of having as my teacher, who worked for me, and then has been assistant principal and now is principal of Lakeside. So being in that mentor role, to be able to mentor those principals and them teach me so many things from their wheelhouse, and how to make me a better leader, has really been a tremendous gift in this role, and I'm very fortunate to work with such a great team.
Great, and thank you. And I'm seeing it unfold over time. So, but you have some things to share with our public, right?
I do.
And a lot of exciting things at the high school level. And as if you know Stephanie, she knows she has an agenda of things to review. And so we have career and technical education programs.
We do. So one of the things that we really want to highlight is, because it is of interest to both our students and our families, is where are our students going to go when they graduate? What opportunities are they going to be afforded? And what is the school doing to try to help prepare them for the real world? As you know, we have a huge influx and need within the workforce and workforce development in vocational. And I just really want to highlight the vocational program under the leadership of Stacy Musey, for all of the programs that we currently have at Millville Public Schools. Often we tend to get overshadowed by the vocational schools, who do a tremendous job preparing students as well for the workforce, but we do have amazing and long-standing successful programs within Millville Public Schools. Some things just that we want to highlight is we do have an engineering program. We have a culinary arts, automotive, woodworking and construction tech, mechatronics, which is robotics, photography, digital design. We are currently under construction for our video and film studio. We have law enforcement, a law enforcement program, child care careers, where actually our students go to the Child Family Center and work with our students, our littles. We have healthcare careers, computer science, business management, marketing, and accounting. And that's just in our career and tech ed vocational programs.
What's the difference when people see career and technical education programs and vocational programs? Because I think, are they one and the same?
So I would say yes, in the sense of one tends to be a little bit more hands-on. And one of the things that we were very passionate about in the design of the new high school was to be able to have the facilities to match the programming. So as we go along, and if you want to highlight some of the photos that we have, I did want to show the public that, for example, our CNA program that we're currently working with our CSJ to get our lab approved and get our students to have those certifications coming out of high school. These students are trained on real equipment. This is equipment that is found in nursing homes, that's found in hospitals, so that our students are coming out with a marketable skill and can go directly into the workforce.
So I am familiar with CTE programs, and the word completer So when they get done, they're a completer of the course?
There are completers, yes. We're continuing to get more completers. Within the state, a lot of those programs have to be a 3-year term program. But yes, we are working towards getting all of our CTE programs to have completers. So students are coming out with certifications upon exit.
So when you see here, like the nursing, this is
That's a
nursing
nursing
station. What certification will a kid come out of
Certified nursing assistant.
so they can go into a nursing home, they can check blood pressure and all that? Like
And
that's
this
what
was a
they do?
program that we had long-standing back when Bishop McCarthy was in operation. We had a long-standing established program. However, with Bishop McCarthy closing, that was our partner program. Then the requirements of the program, there's certain requirements that we have to make sure we adhere to. And then we were under construction, so we didn't have the facilities. So our program took a pause. We had to stop the program for a few years because we didn't have the facility to do it. And now we're bringing it back. And we've gotten many students employed at Woodbine Developmental Center, which has been one of the sites.
Good.
The next is our automotive program. So our automotive program gets students NATEF certified or ASE certified. So our garage gets a recertification every year. We're in the process of renewal to make sure that those garages are following the standards of ASE. And we have a full, I believe it's a 6-bay garage that students work on, and we have donated vehicles, as well as they can do a work order system to work on vehicles for our teachers.
Great.
Our next is culinary arts. So we have 2 labs within our culinary arts program. We have a baking lab and a cooking lab. It's a fully commercial kitchen. For some of the listeners or watchers out there that have gone through the Millville Culinary Arts program, we had basically you learned brownies, scrambled eggs, and cookies. And it was more of a home type of culinary art program, teaching students how to be great chefs at home, doing some basic cooking. We've moved more into the commercial realm. So students are learning commercial cooking, how to do the front of the house, how to do the back of the house. And then eventually the goal of the program is to have students be making lunch for the staff every day and serving it for the staff.
Yeah, I had the class of 82 alumni. They had a reunion, and they came in, they saw this kitchen, and they were just floored. They're like, and they were like, exactly, they said, this wasn't our home ec room. I said, well, it's not a home ec room.
It's a little different than home ec, yes.
Okay.
The next is our wood shop and construction tech, and I'm proud to show the trebuchet that was built in collaboration with our engineering instructor. And we do a lot of cross-curricular within our CTE programs. They're working with English teachers. They're working with other programs within the CTE department to really try to give kids the full experience. And here's a prime example. Our students competed at Rowan University and actually took first, second, and third prize, competing with all area high schools as well as the college. So we're really proud of that. And our construction tech and woodshop program under our instructors are doing a phenomenal job in even just doing work order systems within our school to help our school improvement. That gives our students a vested interest in even just the condition of our school. So we're really proud of that. And then our fitness center. So if you see here, this is our fitness center for not only our athletes, but also all of our health and PE classes. So this is the future of our programming for the high school. We're really looking to expand on students and as well as have programs that are going to support our athletic programs. So we're really looking to increase now with our newly created facility, increase our electives and really based on student request, really start branching out and being able to create not only phenomenal athletes, but I think we've proven ourselves we definitely turn out some great champions in Millville High School and Millville Public Schools. So that is really the theme, is that we make champions. And with our athletic department, they've done a phenomenal job with the coaches and our health and PE teachers in conditioning and stuff for our students.
What about life skills, like to have gym, like you do that as far as your the way you live your life, life
Absolutely.
skills, right?
And we do offer a nutrition class as well. So students can take a nutrition course to learn about their own personal nutrition.
What about any type of machines where you can get on a treadmill or a ellipse?
That's all within that center.
Okay.
And we have our students that are able to use that center throughout the day.
Good.
And then we have our dance program. So Miss Sutton, one of the activities we did this year is, what is the vision of Millville High School? And one of the things that we really take pride in is having experts within our programming. So every one of our teachers is an expert, and we really view it from that lens. And one of our experts is our dance instructor. We have a full dance studio. Students can take dance in lieu of taking PE. They still get their health curriculum, but they get their physical activity through dance. We're looking to expand it into an elective-based dance program so that they can do more advanced dance, looking at tap, ballet, and so on. So that is the vision of Miss Sutton. Knowing that we have a phenomenal fine and performing arts, how can we expand on that? And you'll see in our next slide. That is our Fine and Performing Arts Center that's currently under construction. We're really excited about it. We're hoping it'll be completed in about 3 to 4 months, the holiday, and depending on the weather. And that's just another facility that's going to be matching the phenomenal programs that we have. Our award-winning marching band and our instructors that devote countless hours to our kids and to the programs themselves.
Beautiful. We're going to be moving to Lakeside now. And I guess there was a lot going on last year. It was my second year here, but the first real year coming back full time, and there was a lot going on at Lakeside, and there was a lot of planning going on last year, starting this year. So there you go. You have some topics there.
So one of the things that I found in the shift to the new position was knowing where students have to go. Where do they need to be before they enter high school? So I really wanted to, with intent, take the first year to really observe Lakeside Middle School and see if, in fact, we were adequately preparing our kids in preparation for high school, and especially a large high school, since we're now 9 through 12 in the main campus. And one of the things that we saw was that our students were not necessarily prepared developmentally because of COVID and some of the effects of that, and really needed a smaller setting to really help with those skills, help with those building those relationships within their peers and with their teachers, learning appropriate behavior. So with that year of planning brought teams. And I will say every staff member at Lakeside Middle School has really embraced the teams format and the mentality of working as a team. And I cannot say it enough that the staff at Lakeside had hard times last year. Our students coming back to school every day at that age group was a very difficult transition for our kids and for our teachers. And they really endured and wanted help and wanted to try something new and really embrace the teams model. And it has been so successful. And I'm so proud of the teachers there and so proud of the administration there and everyone that's really just embraced it. We also then increased our student electives. We surveyed all the students and said, for the 22-23 year, what are you interested in? I may be interested in one thing, but kids are different, have different interests. So we did survey the students and then guided our electives to really give them an opportunity to sample different things. The other thing was increased student activities. Really trying to make sure that the middle schoolers in Millville have opportunities after school, have sports, have clubs, and really flooded them, and we are continually flooding them with opportunities after school. And one of the things that we've utilized our funding for is to provide transportation for those students. Because as we know, we want to try to be equitable. We want to be equitable as much as we can within the constraints that we have. So being able to provide transportation for those after-school activities and enrichment activities for our students that are having some challenges academically, offering that tutoring after school and then being able to get them home safely. Just as a testament to all of the changes, both positive, both structurally, we've gone down in discipline referrals 32%, which that in and of itself is such a huge success. Our teachers are communicating, they're building those relationships, which are so vital for those developmental ages, and creating that positive climate and culture within the school. And Ms. Gaunt and her administrative team are doing a tremendous job with that to really make sure that our teachers know that they are appreciated with everything that they're doing every day. And then also one of the things that we're very proud about is the Library Media Center. So that is one thing that I did learn as principal of the high school, is that kids need a hub. They need a place that is safe, that makes them happy, that they can go to if they're just want to be alone, read, and really do schoolwork that is the center hub of the school. And bringing that Library Media Center to the forefront has really been highly successful. We just had a book fair. Our students are now able to request to go there for lunch. They can sit there, they can sit with their friends, have a positive social interactions with their friends, or if they just want to go and sit in a corner and read a book, we have that available for them as well. And it's really been a godsend within Lakeside Middle School.
Yeah, and I've been there, and there is a significant, it's palpable how different it is and how calm it is. Very
Yes.
calm.
Let's knock on wood.
Yeah, because we know that any school district at that age, 6th, 7th, and 8th, it's a tumultuous time in kids' lives and coming out of COVID. But excellent job to your staff, because it's definitely something that we can see, and I think the parents can see it also, as well as the kids and the staff, so thank you. And then we talked about that here. So what do you do as far as how we measuring and reacting to climate and culture?
So one of the things that's important when you're dealing with the kids is that they know where they stand as far as behavior, but we're really trying to divert away from the negative. We do have suspensions, unfortunately, consequences to when they violate the code of conduct, but trying to give them positive interactions. And we've utilized the HERO system. So with the HERO system, the students are demonstrating respect, demonstrating readiness to learn, being on time for class, displaying appropriate behavior, and helping peer and staff members. These are the things that we give them, those incentives, those points for doing those expected behaviors. And it reinforces it so that it becomes second nature and it becomes the culture of the building. And it's really proven to be successful. Now we've given a climate and culture survey just as a follow-up to our one at the end of the year last year. So we thought we'd start the year and see what they think, and then re-poll our families at the end of the year. And right now, the staff have a positive perception of school safety. Families were not feeling safe last year because of multiple factors. We've tried to address those factors, and it's really a positive and encouraging to hear that our staff feel safe in school, because if our staff feel safe, that feeling is going to in turn go to our students and our families. The next is the students were strong. They said there's a strong community and parent support. That's what the students felt. They felt that they were being supported by both their parents and by the school community. That's a gift.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
in and of itself, to achieve that from adolescents, we're excited. And then finally, parents having a positive attitude toward the building. We received a lot of negative feedback last year and in previous years. So we'll take that success, that they're feeling the momentum that was created by the staff and the administration within the building, and they're feeling that momentum and they're taking it to newer heights with an active PTA program. We had Lakeside Haunted Halls with a huge participation. Over 900 people went through those halls for a positive thing. That's amazing in and of itself. And once again, I can take no credit for any of it. It's really the teachers and the administration at Lakeside.
Great.
And now we move to AP course offerings.
So we talked about the vocational CTE piece. We went down into the middle school and how culture and climate, behavior, course offerings, and now we're going to, again, all the different segments of a student body population from 6 to 12, because our parents, we have that segment of, hey, I'm going to college, I want to be prepared. So tell us about our AP course offerings.
So I do want to say that we are devoting countless hours, and the teachers and supervisors are working very, very diligently on addressing needs of students. And I do want to say that our teachers are looking at common assessments. They're working on making sure that they're teaching to the standards, because we do have student achievement gaps that we need to fill. However, often I hear families and supervisors say that there's very little time and devotion and energy to our advanced level students. So one of the things that our department is really working hard is to have that balance, to make sure that we offer those same supports for our APs and our upper level students, as well as to our students that may be a little bit lower performing. So one of the things that we're doing is we're constantly revamping our AP offerings. AP, for those that don't know, is for advanced placement. Students at the end of their advanced placement programs and classes will be able to take an advanced placement test. If they receive a 3 or better, depending on the college or university that they're applying for, they will then be receiving college credit. So that saves our families a tremendous amount of money. I cannot stress it enough. But one of the things that I want to make sure that all of our parents know is that we do have financial support for our free and reduced lunch. We want to make sure that we are equitable and that we provide every opportunity for our families that may not necessarily have the means to pay for the test. We will work it out. There's never going to be an instance, as long as I hold this seat, that a student is not going to be able to take a test because they don't have the financial means. We want to encourage our families, and if you have a child that is taking an AP course, please take the test, because we want you to take the chance in performing well. I know our instructors are adequately preparing you, and then you'll be able to get college credit and potentially save thousands of dollars by having that college credit before you even start.
And the AP course offerings, but also this year was the first year we provided PSAT assessments to all of our 10th grade students?
That is correct. So we did offer PSAT testing. It's to give our students that experience of an SAT, to get them prepared to know what that test is going to feel like, to know how the questions are going to be asked, and really get them prepared for an SAT. We have an expectation for every student to be prepared to go to college or some post-secondary education. We don't want our school system to not prepare them or not give them every possible opportunity as any other school district in any other location. So that was why we really wanted to make sure that our students got that PSAT.
But who's paying for the PSAT, and what's your plans in the future with the PSAT?
So that'll be a later conversation when we sit with the chief school administrator, or the budget guy.
Because right now, this year, the school district paid for all the kids to take the
Correct,
test.
and we're looking at those financial constraints, but we never go into something that we can't sustain. So whether it's through any type of grant funding or things like that, that we will try to sustain that, and so that our students continue to have that experience.
And then you have the dual credit classes. That's nothing new at Millville, right?
Correct. So it's really the name. We have 2 articulation agreements right now. We have it with Stockton University and we have it with Rowan College of South Jersey. And we have multiple dual credit classes that we offer for our students. These are master level teachers that teach these courses, and students then in turn get college credit with whatever school that they've applied for that is supporting that dual credit opportunity. And I do want to say that we did have our early college program that prior to the merger with Cumberland County College it was called Early College, now is HSOP, but we had students that graduated with associate's degrees because of the fact that they took so many dual credit courses throughout their time at Millville High School. We've had students that actually graduated with a science engineering degree, and one of our students who actually got a full ride to Yale University last year.
Good stuff. And then Thunderbolt Academy.
Yes, so our Thunderbolt Academy is it is our partnership. A partnership that we have with an organization that is working with our youth that have potentially some challenges. Challenges that may just be life challenges that may be behavioral challenges, or it may be attendance challenges. It could be due to childcare. It could be due to multiple factors. So I really want to stress it is not necessarily for all discipline, that it is for truly our students that are just disaffected or at risk. So with Thunderbolt Academy, we've moved Thunderbolt Academy to the Memorial High School campus. Now that our 9th grade has moved to the main campus, Thunderbolt Academy has moved to the Memorial campus. It's taken some getting used to. They have a lot more room than they're accustomed to, being from Wood School. And they have a full gym, which is great for our students to get their energy out and really support the health and PE curriculum. And we're really, really developing that partnership, and we're really excited about it. Our students enjoy the small atmosphere. Some students choose to stay. We do have a partnership with Millville High School to make sure that if our students are in a certain level and prepared, they can participate in school sports. So we have some students that go to Thunderbolt Academy that are athletes of ours. They go to student dances, they will go to prom and things like that. But as well as Thunderbolt Academy has so many different programs that they actually offer for their students and their students only, to prepare them for the workforce. They're participating in the C5 program with workforce development, where they'll learn different work skills, how to interview, how to create a resume, and then they'll be marketable and in the list for them to be able to get a job outside of school. So we're really excited.
Yeah, and there is a difference that you made a change this year with the instructional program. It's a big change. Can you elaborate on that?
Sure. So one of the things that I believe.
And this is how many years have we had the program?
We've had the year.
6, 7 years?
7 years at least, yes.
But what's the difference between last year and this year instructionally?
So instructionally, one of the things that we identified very early on, like I said, I like to observe, is that our students were predominantly learning online. They were on a full online program with a partnership with an online program. And that goes for grades 6 through 12. One of the things I think we've learned through COVID is learning online, unless you're a truly motivated learner, it proves to be very difficult for children. So we moved to a direct instruction model. So we're working with Thunderbolt Academy to be able to have certified teachers in front of our students to be able to do direct instruction from a teacher, not from a computer screen and a teacher delivering it through a computer screen. Because also, I can't stress, the relationships between student and teacher are the most vital. It builds that trust, it builds that respect, it teaches those soft skills that are needed in the workforce and even just with their families, and it really builds that sense of community and relationship. And I will say that the staff at Thunderbolt Academy truly embrace the family model of giving our students every possible support, counseling, financial, and to be prepared for the workforce. And it's really, the direct instruction model has helped them both academically and also helped them behaviorally, because there's a person there that's teaching you every day.
Exactly. And also the fact that sometimes, well, we were hearing that some of the kids that were going to Thunderbolt didn't want to go back to the high school.
That is true.
And it could be socially, but it also could be because academically they weren't able to go into their commensurate class. Like if I had to go into, geometry or U.S. History 2, or they were like, I couldn't take that course because I wasn't prepared for it, right?
Mm-hmm. And that was a concern. That was definitely a concern for us. And one thing that I explain to all of the kids, and I do frequent Thunderbolt Academy often and do speak to all the kids, and no student goes into Thunderbolt Academy without me reviewing their profile in partnership with Steve Matus for our exceptional children. So the two of us work with every student's case to see what their needs are and to make sure that that is the appropriate placement for them. But we do have some students who just were very, very leery in going back to that larger setting within the classroom because they did not feel prepared from an online program. Therefore, they ended up staying for multiple years.
Gotcha, good. All right, so we're getting near the end, Mr. Rose, and I'm looking at what's next. I know I want to obviously I want to have you on again because we're doing a lot with our math program. So I really want to see what we're doing with our math program, and also I want to some of the other high interest issues like the extracurricular activities. So bring Mr. Lagamba here, or bring Ms. Sutton with you, then we can talk about things that are going on in the high school that, why high school is so special. When I'm looking at going to the reunions, it's just the emotional tie. It's like you went to Buna, right? And so even though you're dyed-in-the-wool OBG, now you're a Buna girl, and then you go back to the high school, it goes back to all those memories. And so I want to bring that back too. So that's what I'm thinking now. We can bring you back, and then we can have that discussion. And I just think that, I'm sorry, I'm gonna do it. All this stuff is tremendous. It really is. Our kids are blessed. Our families are blessed. And I'm pleased with the progress at Lakeside. I do think that there's adjustments at the high school that are being made now, like you said, because it's a bigger building. We're going through that. But that being said, any parting shots that you want to let the community know?
So for those that really know me know that I have very little sports knowledge. But I'm assuming that means any parting words. One of the things that I just want to say is I have been in this district for 16 years. And I can truly say that the Millville community has embraced me as a native, that I have been born and raised here, not in Buna. And I have been very thankful and very blessed to be working with such dedicated people and such amazing families. And I said this, matter of fact, today to one of my parents, and I'm sure they're going to see this and they're going to go, oh, that was me. I always say, even my most loudest or angry parents, that's a parent that's involved in their child's life. And I really appreciate the energy and the passion to defend their children, because we have to be together. It takes a village. And I'm only here to help my parents and to give kids a resource to be good and effective and blessed citizens in the city of Millville, to contribute back to the city. I always tell them, when I'm old and gray, you're going to be taking care of me someday. So I always have to be fair and honest and true and model that to my families. And I'm just really blessed to continue to work in this district. And I really appreciate everybody.
Good.
Everybody.
Good. I think she's getting choked up because it is passionate. Your middle name is going to be Holly. Okay, but she's an adopted Holly City young lady. So thank you, Steph.
Thank you.
And I look forward to having you on again. And again, for our folks out there looking at the show, I gave an update on the test scores. We're going to talk about the math scores at another date. Maybe have Mr. Hartman here too to talk about it at the secondary level, and even Bobby Barber at the elementary level. But also we had Dr. Mazzoni here talking. Excuse me, I've been sick for a couple of weeks, but I'm back. Believe it or not, I'm 100%, just getting the voice back. But anyway, giving an update to our parents about what's going on at the elementary level, what's going on at the secondary level. And as you can see, there's a lot of great things that are happening. But again, our door is always open, and always feel free to reach out. You can go to our website at www.millville.org. There's places that you can input information or ask questions, and we'll get back to you. And again, I look forward to having this show again and provide you another update. And for Stephanie DeRose and Dr. Matt Mazzoni, I'm Tony Trongone, wishing you, because I won't see you, a happy holiday season and a safe one, and a happy new year. Take care, everybody. And as always, go Bolts.
This has been a QBC television production, in association with our partners and sponsors. QBC broadcasts on Comcast Cable Channel 22, and live streams its programming on Facebook and YouTube. All rights reserved by Quinn Media and QBC, programming that serves the South Jersey market.